Hello friends, I know it's been quite a while since my last video. I kind of took a break from making YouTube videos because just a lot was happening in life, but I'm kind of in the middle of deciding on some new content that I want to start making for my book channel. You can see Ruby up there. That's been her new that has been her new spot to hang out in, especially since we put up the Christmas tree. So for today's video, to kind of get myself back into the swing of things video wise, I wanted to share with you guys the 10 books I want to get to before the end of the year. And first we are going to start off with 2001: A Space Odyssey. I've heard lots of good things about this book. I know it was also, so this is a novel by Arthur C. Clarke, and it's based on the screenplay of the MGM film by Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke. And this edition, I think it's kind of cool that, let's see, when was this one printed? Copyright 1968. And this copy also has, I'm assuming these are pictures from the screenplay that they did, but I think that's pretty cool. So, I have been dipping my toe into the world of sci-fi this year. I haven't done a deep dive as much as I have with fantasy, which has been fun. So sci-fi is another thing that I want to start getting more into, and this is, I think, a good place to start. This next one is one that I have shared on my Bookstagram because I absolutely adore this cover. It's What the Cat Dragged In by Miranda James, and this is a Cat in the Stacks mystery. And this cat looks incredibly like my boy Rowley. Here's a picture of Rowley, who actually passed away earlier this year, and I miss him. He was definitely a snuggle buddy and loved to lay on my chest while I sat on the couch to read books. So I actually borrowed this from my mother, but my mother, being my mother, said that any of the books that I borrow from her I can keep, and this is definitely one that I want to hang on to for that picture. This one is about a librarian named Charlie Harris and his faithful feline companion, Diesel. They have inherited Charlie's... Hi, Stormy! They have inherited Charlie's grandfather's house along with a deadly legacy. A decades-old crime scene in this all-new mystery in the New York Times bestselling Cat in the Stack series. So, I don't want to know too much before I go into this, but I think this is just a really wholesome, adorable cover, and I definitely go for any books that have covers like this. I'm a sucker for them. Stormy, you look like you want to attack my camera. Please don't. Up next, since we are now in December, I have this book and I've had it on my shelf for a long time. There we go, Stormy. Stormy's gonna get up. Okay, I had to start recording again because Stormy attacked my camera and actually turned off the video. Anyway, as I was saying, this next book that I want to get to, I've had for a long time. I don't even remember where I got it from, but it's called The Autobiography of Santa Claus, as told to Jeff Gwynne. You can see the gold embossed sleigh, or it's just reindeer actually on the cover, but The Autobiography of Santa Claus. I figure since we're in December I need a Christmas read, and I don't have many, so this is one that I found on my shelf. At some point I'll probably get more. Stormy's coming back. Come here, Stormy. Okay. Next in this pile of books, I have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I've heard a lot about this series. It's a little beaten up because I'm borrowing it from my middle daughter. This is one of her favorite series. And this is her copy. But I love the concept that this is set in a private school in Vermont, and there's a mystery element to it. So I'm really excited to dive into this one because I feel like this will be a very fast-paced read and kind of also, I want to say cozy vibes, but to me, mysteries tend to give me cozy vibes. I don't know. So I don't know if you can qualify this as cozy vibes, but I'm really excited about this one. Up next, we have a book that I keep saying that I am going to get to, and then I never do because other books come along and I get distracted. But this is a series that I definitely want to get back to. The second book in this series, Good Girl, Bad Blood. I read the first one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and really thoroughly enjoyed it. It had a podcast element to it, and I know the third one is called As Good as Dead, so I want to finish this one before I go get the third one. So I'm really hoping that I will enjoy this one as much as the first one. This next one is another series that I want to get back to that I've only read the first book in the series of so far, and I'm probably with all of these books I am probably reaching by adding this to my 10 before the end pile because technically, so at the beginning of this year I started my Goodreads goal of reading 80 books, but by the time we reached like summer, fall, I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I lowered it from 80 down to 60. Currently I am at 48 books. So technically this month I need to read 12 books to reach that goal. So I feel like I am kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of grasping at straws with this one because of how big it is. But A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I really, really enjoyed A Court of Thorns and Roses. It was actually a series that I had put off for such a long time to get to because I was afraid that if I tried it, I wasn't going to like it. But because of that, I got the first book as an ebook on my Kindle and ended up loving it. So I definitely immediately went out and bought the second one, and I still haven't gotten to it because, again, I get distracted by so many books. But here's hoping I can get to and finish that one this month, maybe. Fingers crossed. Who knows? And this next book here is another series, but it's one I haven't started yet. So this is the first book of the series. It is Stormfront. It is Stormfront by Jim Butcher. It is a novel of the Dresden Files. And I have a very dear friend who, if you're watching this, Jacqueline, I cannot wait to dive into this. I've heard such good things about this series from her, and I'm a sucker for series. I love series. I will forever start and possibly never finish series until the day I die. But I love series, and once I find ones, and when I come across series that I love, I tend to try to collect them all. And luckily I found actually the first 3 books in the series at a local small town bookshop here in town. So this is one I am definitely looking forward to getting to this month. Now, these last 3 books are part of my continuation of delving into horror this year. I was definitely still relatively new to the horror genre at the beginning of this year, and I've been slowly getting more and more into it. So I'm really excited to get into these 3 books. The first one being Frostbite by Angela Sylvain. This one caught my attention because it starts off with Remember the 90s, and millennial, here I am. I loved the 90s. This one is set in the year 1997, and my eye caught the words alien worm, and I don't really want to know much else because aside from this fantastic cover, I kind of want to go into it blind and just enjoy the ride because I have a feeling that this will be a wild read. Next is another one that I was told I should wait to read until the winter time, and since we're getting closer to winter and there is actually snow on the ground, I am all for diving into Boys in the Valley because I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book, and by Philip Fracassi, and it's described as a gothic, gory Lord of the Flies. Horror readers will be hooked. So I definitely have been dying to get to this. I have been waiting until this time of year to start this book, so I'm here for it. And last but not least, this is a book that I am definitely going to get to this month. It was sent to me by a very dear friend, who I also mentioned earlier, Krampus, the Yule Lord by Bram. And earlier this year I read Slewfoot for the first time, and it was my first read by Bram ever, and I absolutely genuinely fell in love with his style of writing. It's just very beautiful. I mean, and all this artwork, look at that artwork. I don't even want to take a peek, maybe a small peek. Is there artwork on the inside? Because there was in Slewfoot. There is. I don't want to look yet at, I don't want to take a good look at the artwork on the inside yet because I just want to come across it as I'm reading. But Bram has become an automatic auto favorite author of mine, and I can't get enough of it. So I figured this is the perfect time to read Krampus, and I'm really, really excited to get to this one. I have a feeling that this will be duking it out for with Slewfoot for one of my top favorite reads of the year, but we'll have to wait and see. So aside from those are the 10 physical books that I want to get to before the end of the year. And aside from those, since I do need 12 books to reach my goal of 60 books, I am currently reading, it's the first book in the Stephanie Plum series, and so far I'm really enjoying it because it's such a fun, fast-paced read, and you're following the main character, Stephanie Plum, who this is set in the 90s. She's an independent woman, and she's looking for a new job because she got let go from her previous job, and she ends up working as a bounty hunter for her cousin, and she has to try and bring a guy in for the bounty so she can earn $10,000. And there's this one scene where she's at her mother's house for dinner, and her mother, they live in New Jersey, and her mother keeps trying to set her up with men since Stephanie is single, and Stephanie wants nothing to do with it. She just wants her mother to stop interfering and stop setting her up with men. And she ends up inviting a guy over that Stephanie knew when she was younger, and they're sitting at dinner, and he asks what Stephanie's been up to lately. And her grandmother lives with her parents, so the grandmother's like, oh, she's got this great big bag of tricks, and she grabs Stephanie's purse and she's pulling out all of her bounty hunter supplies, and it's just such a funny scene. I can't get enough of this book. I have a feeling that this series is going to be another favorite series. This is the first in the series, and I can't wait to get further into it, because I believe, I want to say it was the 35th book that was released recently, so I'm really excited to have so many books in the backlog to get to. The second book that I am currently reading right now is Water to Water, a collection of short stories by S.A. Rowland. So far, I've only read the first few stories, but this has been very interesting so far. It kind of gives me Twilight Zone vibes, and so far this seems to be a cross between, on the back it's described as horror, fantasy, and science fiction, which I'm definitely getting from the first few stories that I've read, so I'm really enjoying this so far. So, those are the 12 books, the 10 before the end, plus the 2 I'm currently reading, that I am hoping to finish by the end of December, so that I can reach my goal of 60 books. Will I reach it? I don't know. We'll have to see. But here's hoping. Fingers crossed. So thank you for checking out my video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, friends.